been back up. Have you been to Dick Stadium since?
I don't know. All right, Zeb.
What's going on?
Zeb, we were just talking.
Yeah?
We got, anytime a tree falls in Kent, you're the man.
Hey, that's right. That's right. Both of you
go.
guys. Both of you guys. Get it up there. Okay, yeah. So both of you guys, yeah, you had like the willow tree or something
Yes.
fall. And Jim had a couple oak trees in his yard.
Mine, I was trying to prevent the squirrels from
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, wow. I didn't even think about it.
We're in our 4th hour, so that's why we're talking about this.
Yeah, how you guys doing today?
This has been fun.
Yeah?
It's unlike anything I've ever done in broadcasting.
Yeah. It's demanding. You guys got to find a lot of stuff to talk about.
But we're raising money. I think the last time we were $3,000.
That's real good. That's real good.
The best part, selfishly for me, is I've gotten to talk to Kilgore, Porter, Bedley. I mean, I've talked to some legends.
Nice.
Brent Thompson was this school's first ever 4-time MAC champ.
Oh, you talked to Brent.
Yeah, Brent Thompson.
What's Brent doing?
Nick Magistrelli.
And Nick just donated a bunch of money.
And now Zeb Miller.
And we tried getting Nick Nemeth, but he's not in Iraq, but he's in
Probably United Arab Emirates is my guess.
Yes, right.
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia
or United Arab Emirates.
Yes, he wanted to do it, but the time change was too crazy, and he's a very high demand guy, so we couldn't get him on.
I mean, he's only got like 3 million followers on Twitter, a couple million on Instagram. So, have you guys seen his movie?
No,
it's pretty terrible.
Is it?
Yeah. I was
Black
texting
Hammer,
with him as
white
I watched
man.
it, and he was like, "Hey, man, they made me do it." He's a company man, so he stuck with it. But hey, I almost brought you a battery. I saw that your phone was dying earlier, but it looks like you got it figured out.
Listen, I got it all figured out right here.
Okay, so listen, next week we've got a live broadcast, Flow Wrestling,
And we got to
Friends at the Fieldhouse.
We got to give you a special plug, because on the matching partners list it says Flow Wrestling has donated or pledged $1,500.
Okay, so yeah, they bought the rights. They bought the rights to the matches, right?
Exactly
They
what we
said to me, we want to come in and do it. I said, you could do it, but I would need you to donate this much money to my crowdfunding page. They said, how much? I told them. They said, count us in.
Awesome. So so last night Buffalo wrestled Wisconsin at Wisconsin.
Yes.
First match of the Bono era. This is going to be like the second duel ever for Bono.
Yes.
Here against you guys. And Iowa's not going to wrestle Wisconsin.
That's correct.
Because that's a Big Ten duel. That'll be a home for one of them, which is obviously huge. And I like the setup right now. I'm looking at it.
Well, we have 2 matches though for that.
Yeah, so that'll be 2 matches because you're going to have 4 teams. This is 8 teams. Obviously, it makes sense. But when we look at that, man, that is going to be like you guys versus 2 Big Ten teams. We're really going to find out where Kyle's at early on.
Yep.
He's going to have to wrestle Jacob Warner, world team member for U20, and he's really, really tough. He's our 20 and under guy. So that would be awesome for Kyle. And then that same weekend, you guys have Penn State.
Then we go to Penn State.
Wow.
I told Penn State, you got to give us money too for the one day.
Well, that's how you do it. But like, it's how you do it, though.
Yes,
and what are you trying to do?
Every
here?
other sport does.
This isn't show friends; it's show business, Jim.
This nowadays, you're
right?
exactly right. Yep.
Right? Okay, so if you talk to Hill.
Matt Hill's next, but this interview is going to go
filler.
slow.
You preempted.
You are a filler.
I'm feller. I like that. I'll be feller.
We're going to push Matt back a little bit.
Okay, so next week, you guys are going to wrestle Wisconsin in a duel, and you're going to wrestle Bakersfield in a duel, and you're going to wrestle Iowa in a duel.
And Penn State.
Sunday.
All in one weekend.
Sunday.
In one weekend.
Yeah, Sunday's Penn State.
Are you going to use your starters, or are you going to give some guys matches?
We're going to wrestle everybody that we can to try to win matches.
Okay.
Are you mad at your guys? It's a tough slate,
Listen,
man.
it is.
It's a tough slate.
Well, listen, here's the deal, and everyone, and you know this better than anyone. I could wrestle every week in schools like this if that's what I decide to do. But this will help us a little bit for guys like my nephew, who isn't a starter yet, who's going to get some time out. It'll help us. This isn't going to help Kyle Cano. You see what he did that last guy?
I messed it.
He wrestled for about 3 minutes. He tech-balled him, did anything he wanted to do to him. At some point, you got to be able to wrestle a competition so you can see where you're at, especially at the beginning of the year. I believe that if you wrestle at the beginning, you'll know how to get to where you want to be at the end.
I'm not going to. Because when I was here, so like, just difference between when I was on the team from 98 to 2003, Brent, Magistrelli, Jim was our assistant. And with that, there was a lot of this. There was a lot of this. Yeah, West Liberty. We would drive up this mountain, kick the tar out of them, come back home,
on a
beat
Tuesday
up
night. Yes.
But it was weird because we would be competitive with Ashland, and I know Jim's not worried about being competitive with Ashland. Jim wants to beat Ashland 9-1, 10-0, right? And so if you look at it, and Coach Romano does a fabulous job with it at Notre Dame College because they're that level.
Sure.
They're trying to be top 25, top 20 every year in the Division I, which you were last year. It's funny to think of it. Oregon State finished 1 slot ahead of you guys.
Did they?
Yeah, did you not? You probably didn't know that. You didn't even know that.
But think of it, Zeb, and I know you watch all college sports, but your bread and butter is wrestling, of course. But if you think about it, truly stop and think about it. Them getting Iowa in here, and Wisconsin for that matter, that's like getting Alabama to come next door to play you football.
Literally. It's literally, yeah.
Or getting
that's
UNC
it.
to
Or
come
Auburn.
play basketball.
And let's not forget, two years ago, we had Oklahoma State in our gym.
Right.
In our main
That
gym.
team's won more championships in NCAA sports than any other sport.
34.
And they wrestled twice
In
the
our
Mac
gym.
Center.
Yeah. How about when we had national duels and they were here?
Right.
Yes.
You've had them here twice in the
We had
last
Wisconsin
5
that
years.
year, too. We had Wisconsin.
Yeah, and Wisconsin. So it's incredible to think who Jim's brought in. And once again, you're not going to get, what's Dick Stadium, 30, 38, 40,
Right.
45,000,
30.
something like that, right? So when we look at that, it's just, you're never going to draw the revenue
Right.
to go there. Whereas Iowa will come here, they're going to draw. I mean, there's going to be, you're gonna have like 2,000 people if you want. If you want them, you might have to like actually not let people in, because people won't be able to see it. It'll be like going to that beat the streets event,
Yes.
right? Like
Yeah.
you'll be how many deep, right? So that's kind of the cool thing about it is teams like that will come here, but like you say, we're not going to get Alabama next door.
No sport in no other sport in college.
Baseball, basketball,
You're not going to get a Power 5 just as it coming to Kent. It's really hard to do. And
Very hard, unless you go there 5 times and then they
we'll get you back once, and then sometimes they're like, nah, you
Oh,
guys
it
fell off.
happens.
We don't, like
There's
they
a school
dictate how things
2
go in
hours-
contracts.
2 hours down the road, it's been fishing.
Oh, of course, you know that. Right?
Yep.
I mean, that goes without saying, right? So, I mean, it's incredible to see what Jim's done from when I was here, and this was the schedule week in and week out, and then you weren't ready for the MAC tournament, and then everybody was.
Yeah, I remember it. I announced the KSU duels when it was West Liberty, American, and Mercyhurst, and that was the American. It's not the American now.
Oh no, yeah, that was they were bad.
That was a first-year Mercyhurst
they were bad.
team, I think.
Yeah,
too.
and so to think about it, it's really changed, and like he said, like Jim said, we got a donation. You guys
Bill
got
Asbury, $100.
Bill Asbury, $100. Thank you very much, Bill. We appreciate that.
That's another matchable one.
That's another matchable one right there.
But like I even asked him, I said, hey, as I'm watching Joey Anderson do some sprints over here with that lion's mane head of hair. But like you had to change that, and it was like you had to rip the Band-Aid off, and he did that in 2004, that first year. Like, think about how bad was 04? How bad was 04 was bad. I mean, it was a bad year for you. Your interim year.
Yeah.
It was tough, man.
My first 2 years were really tough.
Yeah, you guys
We
won.
changed everything.
You won,
won two duels. Next year I won 3 duels.
And then think about this. He was going with the midnight practices on Friday and Saturday. Like, a culture change is like, it's no joke, man. Like, and those guys are my friends. Mike Tolar is my friend. Jared Opper's my friend. You know those guys, right? Those guys are good guys. And they were just like, man, this is just. Yeah. And the guys who were a year behind me, and they were Jim with the interim, and he had to change the culture, and it's really hard to do.
It's not overnight.
No.
I remember a quick story. We wrestled Virginia, and this is back when Virginia was bad, and back when we expected Russell to get a victory. It was at home. I had scheduled them the year before thinking we'd be better. We got our butts kicked by them. It was a Friday match or a Sunday match. That next Monday, I got in my office at 6 a.m. The phone rang, and you can see who it is. So the AD had called. It was Lang, and I answered the phone. He goes, "What are you doing there at 6 in the morning?" I go, after our former shifts, I couldn't sleep very well, Coach or Lang. And he goes, listen, I called you. I was hoping to leave a message so you can listen to it, and you can save it, and you can have it for years and years. You're doing the right things. It's getting better. I'm sure you don't see it, but everyone else in the department sees just what the type of athlete you're bringing, how they're behaving, their grades. So just keep doing what you're doing. And it almost, at that point, gave me like a second wind for a coach, because someone believed in me. At some point, I questioned, like, why the hell did they even hire me? What's going on here? Our guys can't win matches. Got a little bit of second win. The following year, we were ranked in the top 25 for the first time in my history, and it was probably about 30 years since we had been ranked. And since, after that, we had about 9 years, and we were ranked in the top 25 every year. So
that's a great story. I've never heard that.
Yep. It's just hard, man. Like, it's so hard, and people they really don't get what it takes. And, it's like, you've really written the momentum of you surround yourself with the best people when you brought Josh in. It was Vic Sveda early on. Yep. It was Cummins early on, right?
Yep.
Those are some of the guys you brought in, and then you brought Wolf in, and you got all these different people. Lashaway. Yep. And it's like you got to take something from each guy, but you need people who've wrestled at the highest level or competed. Everyone doesn't have to be an All-American.
No.
I think that's the problem the sport of wrestling has. They think everybody's got to be NCAA champ, Olympic world champion, and those aren't always the best coaches because they can't relate to people a lot of the time because it's like Kendall Cross can throw somebody on their head for an Olympic title, but maybe he has a harder time if it's just, your guy, your Isaac Bast, who's a workhorse.
Yep.
That's hard for him to relate to. And I think that's a problem the sport of wrestling has. They really try and bring too many successful wrestlers, Olympic, world champions, NCAA champions. It doesn't always translate to the best coach.
100%.
Would you agree with that?
100%.
So, is my filler time up here?
No, we got about 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes?
Matt
Okay.
He's probably ready. I mean,
Okay.
he's on, because remember, he's sitting right next to De Palma.
Yeah, he is. Well, we told him 5 o'clock.
They were going through the tunnels of Pennsylvania, so we were catching it. That was phenomenal.
Well, Ferd and Thomas are here, my sons.
We saw them. They came off to the
they
booth
came by?
already.
They came by?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know where they are. We're going out to eat
Jimmy
after
called
this.
you mobile.
I said, you're mobile. You're mobile. He said, how could he be here? He was just watching because
Yeah.
we saw you on the screen.
Yeah,
It
we're
was the
mobile.
darndest thing.
We're mobile.
Yeah, I said,
it's-
he's mobile.
Internet's it's a crazy thing. I was watching you guys on my planning period.
Were you?
You guys shouted me out, and then I kind of listened to a Nick Bedleon interview.
Yeah, our phones.
Well,
I know.
technology, and now
Oh yeah,
everything's
you
good.
jumped. Okay,
Everything's off.
but Nick just had a baby. Him and Thomas are exactly a year apart. Here we go. Go, you got it.
You get it. Break it down.
All right, we've got a total of $3,360. 50 donors.
50 different
50 different donors. I haven't donated yet. I got
And
the
that
call,
doesn't include
but I got to
the
donate. I
bank.
got a voicemail.
That doesn't include the bank. Look at the bank.
Okay, so the bank, we got Bill Drypulcher for $2,500, Tommy Manning $1,500, Flow Wrestling $1,500, Neil Waxman for $1,000, Kent State Wrestling coaching staff. Whoa, coach!
they're up
Coach,
with
did you have a
330.
concussion? Are you okay?
Listen, I'm a grad. I'm a grad.
And help me out with Michael's last name,
Pasquale.
Pasquale. Okay,
Yep.
so he's for $500.
Yep.
So that's $9K, and then they match, right?
That's good. They're all doing it on the 27th. That'll be doubles. That's actually 18,000. right
Okay.
there.
So, and then the goal's 50?
Our goal's 50.
They're halfway there.
50. I like that. I like that.
If
So,
the thing's 2 days old,
2
they're
days
halfway
old.
there.
that's
Yep.
good. Where are we going here as far as the action as I watch Isaac Bast?
We're just going to finish beating this team. Then the next round is actually the fourth
final?
round. And we're going to pick the next best team, which probably be Ashland, I would think. I don't know what their record is.
Or Lake Erie. It'll be Lake Erie or Ashland,
and we're
right?
Gonna wrestle we're going to wrestle them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it'll be one of those teams.
One of those teams probably. Whoever wants to wrestle, maybe one does. Well, I'll wrestle whoever. It doesn't matter to me. I'll let them kind of figure it
That's
out.
for proven.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, culture change.
Yeah.
I want to talk more about that. Kent
Okay.
State 27, Cowley 0, and 165.
Yeah.
They're at 165 right now, Bass.
Before that, real quick, I know you have a lot to say on that. I talked to Mike Allen, who, of course, you know, a veteran
Referee.
official, a longtime guy from Iowa, about the rule changes, and I've talked to Jimmy about this. I want to get your opinion on it because we've seen it time and time again, and thanks to what Flow does, instant gratification. You can go back, you can watch a match, and you can critique. Can we do something with the replay system?
Okay, so the replay system, there needs to be more angles.
Thank you.
Okay, the problem is, so I do Edinburgh's. I did Edinburgh's. I've been
You're the
covering that-
replay guy?
No,
Okay.
no.
You do their matches?
So I do their matches.
Okay.
So since 2009, I've been covering Edinburgh. Since I started working with Flow Wrestling, and then last year they took me off. And I did a couple matches last year, actually Bakersfield, last year at Edinburgh, and they do an iPad that Nat Stat holds on the other corner. That's how they do it. It's an iPad.
So you can't see the line.
No, it's really hard to do. It had great intentions.
Okay.
Right? I think that there's no question that everybody else has got replay, right?
Yep.
And if we're going to do it, you got to put resources into it. The problem is there's not enough resources going into it.
Let me ask you this question. We know ESPN and ESPNU, the family of their networks, they cover the NCAA tournament like never before. All 8 mats, up top view, sideline view, mid-level view, all these different camera angles. Why can't, like every other sport, why can't officials hack into the TV feed and look at that?
You know, and that's a question. It's resources. It's all about resources. What you're saying, it's like, what are they putting towards it?
Okay.
So that would be like something where you talk on the production end of it.
Okay.
So there's something where the production's not working with
Can I break
the
in here and
coaches
give you Mike what I think?
Yeah.
and the refs.
So at the beginning of the tournament, there's a camera on every single mat that feeds into the computer. That's the same. That's the same camera they're using for video. I think what it comes down to is that we have to stay consistent. We can't have 4 matches have all these different cameras,
yeah.
angles, because the matches are more important. So I think they stick with the exact same camera.
So you're saying that
the same
all 8
view.
mats, there's no way to do the multiple angles on all 8 mats.
Even though for the semifinals and the finals we have more angles, but I think they want to stick with what they've been doing because that's what everyone else gets, is what I would believe. Because
I can see that for that tournament. I mean, you don't want to get to, okay, so let's go to the national championship match, and we've been doing it with a mat level cam, and all of a sudden now, because there's only one mat, we can see all the multiple angles. I get that, but I just fail to see how nowadays there's not a better way than a consumer-grade mat-level camera to decide the most important matches of the year.
I couldn't agree with you more, but it's all about what you're putting into this resources. There's no question about it.
You know what? You know what it'll take, Zeb? And Jimmy? What it's going to take is, it's going to take somebody big from a big school with a big following, losing via the replay.
Oh, yeah. That's how it always happens.
That's what it's going to take.
You know that. Come on. So what do you think about this? The most vital I'll give you the 2 most important replays ever. The Brown versus Wilps NCAA final with Sanderson, and it's a locking hands call. I don't know if you guys remember.
I do.
Brown of Penn State beat Wilps, and it was on a replay, right? It was a locking hands, I believe.
Yes.
Right?
They couldn't
so
use
hold
that.
on, let's look at this. There's that one, and then there's Zahid Valencia versus what's his name? Mark Hall last year in the semifinals, headgear grab. So it's like, first off, those coaches they didn't pick Casey Cunningham's name out of a hat and the Sanderson brothers' name out of a hat. They're savvy with it. They get it. They're the best coaches for a reason. So it's kind of crazy to think about. It's going to take one of those big Power Fives to really get burned by it, and maybe it's Penn State. Maybe it's Penn State. I don't know, right? I love what we just saw. Jim just got called over by who are we wrestling?
Yeah,
next?
normally the whiteboard that says, okay, here's the running donation and here's the total. It was a message scrawled by Danny Mitchell that said, who are we wrestling next? Question mark, asking the team. So Jim removed his headset. He is gone. He has went right across the camera, but this is how it's gone since we started at 1 o'clock. It's been thrown together. It's been a beautiful thing.
You've been doing a really good job, man.
Oh,
There's not a lot of dead time. There's not a lot of cough button time. I like that. You're doing a great job.
I love it.
But okay,
just to think back, like talking to guys like Porter and his win in overtime to beat Central Michigan in overtime to win the MAC championship, talking with Nick Bedleon and the myriad of matches that he wrestled that were barn burners, and just reliving some of that's been, not to mention travel. I travel with a lot of teams at Kent State. Wrestling was the most fun, without a doubt.
yeah, there's no question.
Building tents in my seat because Jimmy wants to play music loud and it's so bright in there. It's great.
You know what? I don't know if there's a sport with more camaraderie than wrestling, man. It's like we really suffer through a lot together.
If he knew that I was smuggling Mountain Dews to Nick Bedley on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, I'd probably not be working here.
It might not be. I agree with that, Ty. And you know what? I'd probably be all right with it because Bedleon, that guy. Is there a tougher guy than Nick Bedleon? That's probably your toughest guy. There's not a tougher guy.
Yeah. But one of the things I don't like, I consider Dustin really tough. Dustin did all the. Dustin didn't get in as many situations that revealed how tough Nick was.
Yeah.
But Dustin cut a lot of weight his first year, to the point where it probably affected him at the end of the year. And Carol, hey, $50. Thank you, Mrs. Hayab.
Is that Ben's mom?
That's Ben's mom. Thank you very much. That's another donor adding to the source. So thank you very much, Carol.
51.
51 that we're aware
So
of.
can I just say something about Ben Hayab? He rented from me, and him and Isaac Bast. If I were like Jim and had daughters, those would be the guys that I want my I got 2 sons, but those are the guys. They're 2 of the best kids I know, man. Just
Well, Jimmy,
character, the whole 9 yards.
we're now going into our 4th hour.
Fourth hour. We're killing it.
No,
We're almost done.
started at 1.
We're almost done.
So you might as well get him on the hotline.
You want to get Matt?
Get him.
How about you stay? Call in 10 minutes. Hold on. He just said this. He needs 5 more minutes. He
Okay,
said.
no, he's going to call you?
Well, he says, call. He says, call me in 10 minutes. That was sent at 4:56. So we need 5 minutes, and we'll go.
Okay.
Okay.
So where are you going to be talking to Dry Poacher from?
We're this situation.
From Hawaii or
No.
from
He just got back from Paris.
He's just getting off the plane, evidently.
Paris, huh?
He's got back from. No, he's at his house. He got back last night. They came in a day early.
So he's back.
He's back.
So have either of you ever stayed at Bill's house?
I've been there twice.
I've stayed there 3 times, and it's up on the top of Twin Peaks in San Francisco, California.
Yep.
And on a clear day, you can see Mount Diablo. You can't see the ocean. He's got to drive you up right directly behind his house to see the ocean. So it's pretty wild. But I like this. It's a good production. Hey, we actually got to talk and do. You got to do a promo video
on. So hang on a second.
On the fall.
Evidently off the air. Put your headphones on. I'm getting a note.
I got to do a quick interview with you.
Video has ended.
I'll put it on flow. Yeah.
So we might be on. I don't know if we're on or off.
They're sending all their stuff, all their production.
They're sending everything.
Act like we're on. Act like we're still on.
Okay. So
just in case.
When we talk, it's a hype video for it. You know, we gotta promote an event.
Yeah. Let me know what you need from me.
You and I just do a quick interview, and it'll be like something like that, and it'll be.
We'll do that after this is over.
Yeah. And I don't know, like we're gonna go to Wild Goats here in a little bit.
Well, if anything, we'll get it. I'll find you.
Yeah, and if you got to meet me at Wild Goats and we do a quick interview, that's cool.
Fine.
Because you got another duel, and my kids are about to be losing their minds here.
Listen, you see this? This is a perfect illusion.
I know.
Let him run.
Well, there we go. There's Thomas.
He's looking. Does he walk? Is he
Get him
crawling?
up and walk. He can walk.
All right, we're on.
We're on.
So let's get Maddie on the phone.
We're getting Matt on the phone.
Walking. Look, there you go. There you go. There you go.
Just like you walk.
Thomas walking. Yeah, just like me. All stiff-legged and.
Have Zeb tell the best story. He's coming out of retirement.
That's a great story. He was done. It was a great story. But we're calling Matt now because Ty wants to move on.
Well, I don't want to move on. I just want to make sure we stick to the schedule.
Okay. So
get Matt and I'm out of here.
We got a head coach coming on, right?
Coach.
There goes that. We got the big phone back out.
Here, actually, talk to him. When he answers, give me the phone. So you're with Zeb Miller. All three of us here. And if you want to talk, you can talk. You can actually ask some questions.
Okay.
Still ringing.
Coach Hill, it's Zeb Miller. You're talking to Tylander, Zeb Miller, and Jimmy Anderson. We're gonna put you on live here, buddy. All right?
Zeb, what's up, buddy?
Not much, but you're live on the telethon right now, and I know you got a bus full of Fighting Scots. You're on your way to Michigan State or Princeton.
On our way up to Lansing.
Lansing, okay.
Maddie, where about are you on the Pike right now?
I'm probably just a little bit north of Kent State right now. Actually, where are we at?
Well, listen, you want to tell the guy to pull off? Kent State needs an opponent this last match.
What, they don't have one?
Well, they're looking for.
Don't listen to these guys, Matt. They're trying to bust your balls.
I'm just saying, Jimmy needs his schedule's not very tough. He's only wrestling Iowa, Wisconsin, and Penn State next weekend. I want to get the Fighting Scots in here.
He's got to get those guys ready to go for it. I mean, that's a good match. Good warm-up matches. I don't necessarily want to call them that, but yeah, it's a good thing. Get people out there to see you guys wrestle.
Well, Matt Hill, hey, listen, I haven't had a chance, but congratulations on the job. We miss you, but just great and thrilled for you.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So, Matt, here's my question for you. I was going to ask it the other day, but I figure I ask here. Why go all the way to Michigan State when you could have went to Clarion? First question for you.
I think the big thing was just seeing different teams, I guess. Probably a lot of the same EWL opponents looking at Clarion over, so just really trying to work a little bit.
All right, that's good. That's a good answer. My next question, I'm going to let Ty take over the interview. But tell me the hardest adjustment from going to an assistant coach, from assistant to a head coach. Your hardest adjustment in your, what has it been, 3 months, 4 months so far?
I think you gotta be available to everybody. That's the only thing I can think of. One of the hardest. You gotta be available to everybody.
Okay.
So that's the way to put it. I mean, there's other things too, but pressure and availability is probably the two biggest.
Ty, you're up. Go.
I'm up. All right, Matt, we were talking with a lot of familiar names earlier today and talking with the Bedleons, Kilgores, and Porters. Michael DePalma called in. Now, of course, we've got you. You were kind of here for the rebirth of this program. And any memories from it?
Lots of memories. I can, sit down and talk all day about good memories that started my coaching career there. So, obviously, Kilgore winning the national title, seeing Dick Bailey on, winning around 12, getting to coach Danny, and seeing kind of what he did last year, helping me and Miller, and just being a part of all those guys' successes. There's lots of good memories. And all this fun things.
you were very involved, I know, in a number of those guys that may have won their championships, whether it be MAC or NCAA. They may have won those in the room. Do you see it that way?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just one thing. It's a collective effort. Was, most things the kids gotta want to come there and play. They gotta buy into the system, and when they do that, it makes your job a lot easier.
First season as head coach, Edinboro Fighting Scots, a school you wrestled for, and then you found your way back there. Has it settled in? I mean, I know this first road trip probably makes it real, but has it settled in?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's still kind of surreal. You not really soak it all in until I don't think I'll feel very much the first season though. But we're grateful for the opportunity, grateful for the opportunity that I got to work with the administration and just being a part of the alumni kind of it's all part of the puzzle pieces that get to where I am today.
Matt, when you look at the change, it's you know that, okay. So when you look at the changes, that you've made and going and it's a rebuild for you, at Edinboro, and I talked to Mike at Delta at the Hammer Camp, and Mike was he was so downhill momentum and how the guys have embraced it, and your four best guys, an All-American, and an All-American, 3 NCAA qualifiers, seniors, all transfer out. Obviously Gear was not a senior, but all your four best guys, they leave the program. There was kind of a lag in hire time, and it was a hard sell. But what's that been like? And is Mike was he hyping it up, or is it everything Mike says with the guys and buy-in?
Oh, I think everybody's bought in. They got a chip on their shoulder. We got lots of work to do still. Losing those guys is obviously something you don't want to see happen coming in. But we're moving on. We wrestle for other schools now, so we're moving on. We got guys we're focusing on. The guys on my team right now and getting them better every day. So we got some challenges. We'll have a lot of growing pains, but we're going to get better.
All right, Maddie, anything else you want to add? I mean, season getting underway. Anything else that we weren't smart enough to answer?
Good luck to the Flashes. I get Dater coming over to Edinboro, the number 8 to wrestle with us in a tool. So it'll be fun to have them over with coming over to scrap. Other than that, I appreciate my event. Got to watch
Hey, thanks for taking the call, Matt. We'll talk soon, buddy.
All right, thank you. I'll see you later, Jeff.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you, Matt.
Good luck, guys.
All right, let's get an update from you, Coach Jimmy, on the board. We've got a board up there. Look at that. See that up there?
Yes, we got an update. I need the information. We have an update. We got $3,410 so far, cash in hand. What that means is that will be doubled. If you want to give, we got a little bit more time going on here. It's 804-908-3009. Once again, call 804-908-3009 if you want to give directly to Kent State Wrestling. Also, you can go to www.kentstatesports.com/wrestling crowdfunding. Right now, like I said, we're looking for whoever out there wants to donate. Hopefully it's right about the end of work, so we got some more people following us, and we look forward to more people donating. In our last match here, we're winding up. We got one more interview and one more match, but at some point we might be off the air, and the match will still be going on. So
who's your last match?
We don't know. I have to come. I'm gonna let you two talk while I go figure that out, and we'll get ready for our next conversation with Bill Drypolcher in 20 minutes.
Okay.
One behind you.
Can we call him earlier, or are we stuck to that time?
No, we could probably call him over, but let me figure out who we're wrestling
We'll
next.
wait for you.
Gotcha.
We'll wait for you. Well, in that sense, what's your schedule look like, Zeb, for the early part of the season?
So next week we got the Frenzy at the Fieldhouse, Wisconsin, Bakersfield, Iowa here, and then Pizza. I got National Middle School duels on a Sunday after that. So next weekend is like 3 events. Ironman, of course.
Oh, wow. That's next
Ironman. No, Ironman is the first weekend in December. So there's a lot going on. I mean,
The first Saturday in December is the first.
It would be the second. It would be the second Saturday. Would be the finals of it. So I'm doing Ironman. Obviously, that's the top high school. It's in season.
Did you hear Tom Manning tell us that that's 54 years of the Kinston family?
No, but I live 3 miles from Kinston High School. My kids are going to be Bombers.
Unbelievable.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. So KIT is, and Tom runs that. Tom does a fabulous job. Tom is like a savant, man.
Well, he made a donation, and then he joined us for about a half an hour. It was entertaining.
Bought a house off of Tom.
Did you?
And I can tell you this. We were about a year out of contract and something went wrong. And Tom split the repairs with me.
Did he really?
Did Tom Manning have to do that?
No.
He could have told me to go
great.
kick rocks.
That's great.
And that speaks to the type of guy he is. And I still own the home. And it's full of wrestlers.
Wow.
Full of wrestlers. So, hey, you know what? I'm watching my wife and kids here. My wife was, I don't know if you remember, my wife, Sarah Kaczynski, she played volleyball here. She was a 4-year starter, middle hitter on the team from Ann Arbor, Michigan. So we got 2 Kent State babies over there.
You know, that's what Brent said, the same thing.
Yeah. Magistrelli.
Yeah, Mickey.
Yep. And Ben Rings, his wife played field hockey, Tanya McNally.
I remember doing a video project for one of my classes on Ben Rings getting whisked away because of the military duty.
Okay, do you know the story? Do you know my story behind that?
I don't think so.
So I was the backup. Camargo beat me out. I went down to 184. I never even wrestled Ben off, but I was student teaching. So Joe Anderson actually called out on it. But so I was done. So I went down to 184. Alex Camargo beat me out. I didn't even bother to wrestle Rings off in 97. I was student teaching. So I was getting like a half hour of practice today with Aaron Miller and Artie and Ramadani. They would come and they would stay after practice, and I would show up. Practice started at 2:15. I didn't get to practice till 3:15. They would stay after the last 45 minutes, and it was taper down. Anyhow, I wasn't really practicing. I wasn't really doing much. I'm about 220 pounds, and Rings gets pulled to go to Iraq, and Jimmy calls me on my classroom phone at Roosevelt. I was student teaching at Roosevelt from Nicky Marchman Boykin, and he's like, "Hey, this is the week of the MAC tournament."
Wow.
He's like, "What do you weigh?" I was like, "About 220." He goes, "You're wrestling this weekend." And I was like, that's funny. Yeah, good one, Jim. He goes, "No, I'm serious. Rings is going to Iraq. You're wrestling."
Wow.
So I had to double time it. I had to do 4 or 5 workout weight cuts, and then I made the weight. I made 197. I went 2 and out, but my last match I lost in the ultimate ride out.
Okay.
And I felt like I had gas. I felt good. I felt like a weight cut didn't affect me. And my final match is probably the match I'm most proud of. I lost to an Eastern Michigan guy, Travis Kraft, to place at the MAC tournament my 5th year. But Jimmy called me, and it was just like, I don't know what most people would do in that situation, but we needed someone. We're not going to knock someone to the MAC tournament. We're not going to send a 65 or a 74. So I made the weight, and it ended up working out, and I'm better for it.
There you go. You see that?
Yeah, Eugene, the Dean of Mean, Leonard, $200.
He's a Hall of Famer this year.
And he's a Varsity K inductee. Eugene, thank you for the donation to Kent State Wrestling.
And that's another one of those that'll be matched, of those that are $25 or greater. Well, that's just great. Another name that immediately the match memories become floating back. Eugene Leonard. Jimmy knows that.
That's pretty awesome.
He's hobnobbing like a man
he
running for political office.
He is. But so I gotta grab him for a quick interview about Friends in the Fieldhouse.
Yep.
So you might be solo for like
that's 2
or 3 minutes. Can
Story
you do
of my
that?
life.
Can you do that?
$200 from Eugene Leonard just coming across.
Did you guys talk about him being a
Hall of Famer.
inducted this year?
Varsity K.
This year.
Yeah, that's it. You got it.
So
We'll get something out of it. It's big money.
big money. That's all I do is donate.
With Jimmy on the Frenzy at the Fieldhouse.
2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, do that, and then we'll come back and call Bill.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to
Thanks,
step
Ty.
away, Nick. We're going to step away for just a few minutes.